Hello everyone, I'm Ditta from GoodReads, and today I'm doing a review about A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is a really beautiful cover, it's amazing. And the color is beautiful, and the art is beautiful, and it's really fancy with like the title, and it's really cool, and I like it, and it's so awesome. So the story is about Feyre, who's a girl who lives in the Mortal Lands, and in the world where she lives there are also fairies and fae who live like in the fairyland, which has a name I keep forgetting, and their worlds are divided by a wall. And fairies, they are tricksters and dangerous, and humans are kind of afraid by them because they are kinda scary and can kill you and everything. However, Feyre ends up killing a fairy and therefore as a punishment gets taken to the other side of the wall into the fairylands by Tamlin, and she is forced to live on his estate there in his house, and Feyre has to live in this fairy world, but soon she will discover that there is a lot going on in this fairy world, and basically that's where the whole story is about, and it is a retelling from Beauty and the Beast, and I really like that. I basically only know like the Disney versions of fairy tales, and unless I've read like a retelling about them, so therefore I always really enjoy to read it, and then they have like a different spin, or it's a bit different, and I always appreciate that. But basically, that's what the main point of the story is, what I can tell without spoiling the book. So that's where it's about, basically. I thought this book was awesome. I mean, it's a fairy retelling, so basically that means that you kind of already know what's going to happen. But to be honest, I kind of forgot everything about Beauty and the Beast, except that there was like a beast and that they lived in a castle, and that's basically what I remember from like the Disney version. So I discovered the story with Feyre, and it was pretty cool. And like some things that maybe might have been very obvious now I look back on it were still surprising to me because I totally forgot what the hell the original story was all about. So that was really great in a way because I got to experience the story more fully. But even when you really are really familiar with like the story, I still think it's a really good take on the story, and a lot of the stuff, you couldn't possibly know from the original story what's going to happen. It's a great twist on like the whole Beauty and the Beast story, which is amazing. I really enjoyed it, and the story itself is really nice. It's like nicely balanced, and it's got some action parts, but also like the more airy parts, and some bit of discovery of the world. I think it was pretty cool, but I did feel a bit dumb because I didn't see some of the possibly obvious things because I kind of forgot like Beauty and the Beast. I don't really know that much anymore, but that was great because I got to discover everything as like Farah discovered it, and I didn't really spoil myself or anything, or I don't know, I didn't really know what was happening until it was happening, which is like pretty good because then I can experience the story in a great manner. But I really enjoyed the story. That's my main point I'm trying to make here. And I was really upset in the beginning at like their family relations, like Feyre and her sisters and her father, and it was really upsetting and quite shocking actually. So you really have to read it. And I wasn't really pleased with how it was going for her. Like, it was a nice story and it was good described, but I just wanted that part to be over because I was like, you can't be like this, sisters and that. Like, oh my, this isn't happening. How can you be like this? So, you know, it was a bit conflicting because I felt really bad for Feyre. But when she got taken to the fairyland, I didn't really have that feeling anymore, and I was just really excited about reading it. And it is so cool, and Feyre is a really cool and strong character, and Tamlin is pretty badass himself, but he's pretty cool. I don't know what I really can say about him because he feels a bit, I don't know, he's like powerful, but also he's really nice. And he's a bit a mixture of that. But I really enjoyed, by the way, the world, which was like we have spring card and summer card, and autumn, and we have like day and dawn and all kind of cards, which is pretty awesome, which are in this book. And you know, the fairyland is represented by different cards, so I really enjoy like royalty and powers and kind of like little political things in worlds because they make it feel so much more real, and there was a lot going on in this world, and that was really cool. And in the nearing the ending of the story, things got so awesome. Like, it was amazing. It was so action packed, and so, you know, there were phases that were so fast paced and pieces that were very interesting, and it was very cool. And we also got to meet another character, Reese's, which name I didn't read like Reese's at first, and I actually had to look up the way she thought like how to pronounce it or anything. Like in the back of the book there is this thing. And Reese's, he is pretty cool. He is one of the most interesting characters for me at this moment. I want to know more about him. He is really awesome, I think. I think what I read about him this far, it's made me really interesting to read more about him. And that's the case with more characters, by the way. Characters are really cool. We have Lucian, who is awesome, and we have Reese's, and I really think that there is going to be more about him, and everyone is going to love him even more, because really, he wasn't on his best behavior in this book, I suppose. And we have Tamlin, and I want to know more about Tamlin's history, because you only know fake things about him, and it would be pretty cool to read more about it. But other characters are really cool, and Feyre is like this kick-ass character who is really cool, and I love her, she's amazing. So, that's really cool. So, like, the story was really cool and could even surprise me. And we have like this amazing set of characters that are kick-ass or really interesting or just, you know, really cool. And the world is amazing. When someone would be talking supposedly about fairies and fae, I don't really feel that interested in like the whole concept of fairies and fae. However, I did really enjoy it in this book because it was very well done and it was very interesting, and you know, it was great. So I don't know, maybe I do really enjoy fairy books because I also really enjoyed another fairy book by Holly Black, and here we have this book. So maybe I was like stupid not to read more fairy books. But anyway, so the themes were really nice and it's pretty awesome. This was the first book I read by Sarah J. Maas, even though I wanted to read like others first, but you know, this one got to me and I started reading it, so you know, things happened. And I read this one from Sarah J. Maas, even though I have others, but it is so cool. I really loved it. It was a great way for me to start reading something by Sarah J. Maas because now I know she can write really awesome, even though that's what everyone has been saying. So it's crazy. I should have read something by Sarah J. Maas way earlier, but I didn't. So you know. But I really enjoyed this book. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on GoodReads, but it's like 4.5 for not really like 5, but almost there. And I really enjoyed it. I hope that in like another book there will be more about the world, which is supposedly even bigger, and a lot more is going on in the world than, you know, only gets in this book. It's not like about the world, but there I hope it will be more about the world because I want to know more about this magical world, which seems really awesome. The characters are really cool, and I want to know more about some characters, especially Reese's, because I think he will be a pretty damn cool character. And more about Feyre and Tamlin and how will this go further? That is what I want to know. So overall, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, 4 out of 5 stars, really awesome. I recommend you guys reading this book, and I think that was it. I hope you have a great day, enjoy life, and be happy. Goodbye!